All right, let's get rolling here. So what we want to start with, okay, is I want to make sure that we got um, like our book. We're going to finish up the little bit with the Vikings. So basically, guys, what we got today is we're going to be here for about a half an hour. Any more than that, Zoom, anything over like 35, 40 minutes, they're going to charge me to like record it, and I'm not paying it because that's just stupid. So our classroom sessions will run about 35 minutes each time that we get together on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Is that cool? All right. And then anything else that we can't get in, I'll sort of narrate out on the PowerPoint so that you can play those narrated PowerPoints and get the notes that way. Cool? All right.
Cool.
So basically with the stuff we're going over today, the rest of that Viking PowerPoint that I put on Canvas, I haven't narrated that one because we're going to go over it today. So you're not going to need narration on it because the notes are coming from this. But when we get into feudalism on Tuesday, we'll talk about, we won't, I'll narrate parts of that one so we don't have to go over the whole thing. Yeah? Okay, cool. So we're looking at our books like around page 188. They got that map of the Viking invasions on 188. That's what I'm looking at here. All right, so if you got your book, we're looking on 188 with these Viking invasions. That's where I kind of want to start with. And then I'll keep clicking around. Like I said, there's going to be some hiccups and some different things going on today because it's our first session, but we'll make it work. And please talk to me and let me know what I can do better, okay, from all of our perspectives. Is that cool? Awesome. All right. So I'm going to start sharing other parts of my screen with you guys as we kind of get into what's going on. Like I said, everybody is at this point muted up. So if you want to, I have the chat feature open. So if you want to like ask questions or things like that, I'll keep moving back and forth. And you can ask questions that way, all right, so that we're not hearing miscellaneous noises in the background, all right? So first things first, let's just get kind of where we are back to hit the reset button, all right, as far as looking at our class. So I'm going to, first thing I'm going to share is the your view of what you guys are going to be seeing on Canvas. Okay, so if you're looking at what you're going to be seeing on Canvas, I'll just, or you don't need to be showing you different views. So this is what you guys are seeing on Canvas here. All right, and I created like a whole new module, this remote student learning module. So some of the things that you're going to be seeing here, okay, is here's our course PowerPoint notes right here. All right. So I need to, and I'll look at a couple faces just so I can get, right now, Ethan, I'm going to talk to you real quick. I'll just unmute you real quick. So can you see what I'm showing here on this thing?
Yeah, I can see it. Yes, sir.
Okay. So here's the course PowerPoint notes. All right. You can click on those and download those. We'll talk about this video today, this Norman episode 1 video. All right. I want you over the next couple of days to watch the first 20 minutes of that video. I think we watched like 3 minutes of it the last time we were together, but I want you to watch 20 minutes of it because it'll talk about Viking assimilation and those types of things. All right. And then what I want to look at down here is what you're going to see is you got for next Tuesday. All right. We got forum post number 6 and CPA number 7. Do you guys all see that? Okay, that should have popped up on your Canvas. So what we're going to be doing with that is I got these 4 links down here. It's about a 5-minute feudal video. Okay, really cool, brief look at the feudal system. And then you got 3 primary sources from Fordham. which if we were in class, I would have just handed them out to you like normal. Okay, these are those sources that you got here. Okay, so what you guys are going to be doing for that forum post is you're going to be, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, but what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at that video and you're going to be imagining if you had to explain feudalism to somebody who's never heard it before, what would you tell them? Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing with that forum post. So just kind of imagine somebody comes up to you and is like, "Hey, dude, I don't know what feudalism means. Can you help me out?" And you got to explain feudalism to them with the information that you have from the first part of chapter 9, okay, which is those pages that we looked at. I gave you what pages we were doing with chapter 9. It's like 239 to 246, okay, and then you can get into those things. Then the second part is which one of these sources. The second part of the post is which one of these sources did you find most helpful to explain feudalism? Okay, so a lot of these are really cool, like old school sources, like they describe the clasping of the hands. One of the big things of feudalism is men shaking hands like men and doing the hand sandwich, like this, and sort of pledging their mutual duties to one another. So which one did you find most helpful? Okay, to complete that forum post in CPA. I'd like to have that done by next Tuesday. I don't think that's too much of a big thing to do over the weekend. So to have that CPA points completed and to have that forum post completed, I want to try to get everybody to get a post and reply in by next Tuesday at 11. Is that good? Yep. Okay. Awesome. So I'll go back and we'll I'll come back to the main screen here. I'll stop sharing just for a minute. I'm checking the chat. I don't know if he's got any questions at this point. So cool. All right. So we got, like I said, about 20 minutes here to go over some notes. And if you got any questions, let me know. So I'll go back and we'll look at our notes here. So basically just kind of like we're in class. I just want to do this. Really, I want to do this as like you and I are sitting together in class. Okay. And I want to try our hardest to just kind of imagine that we're in class. All right. I want to try and change as little as possible from what we're looking at. So what I want you to do is, if you can, from our reading, try and write down over the next minute or two as many reasons maybe as you could come up with why you think the Vikings invaded. Okay. What was driving the Viking invasion? All right. And then we can sort of see what we're coming up with. Okay, so if you got ideas about what's driving the Viking invasions, okay, once you do that, start popping them in here on the group chat. Once you get some, hey Hannah, how are you? Good to see you. All right, great. So John's got a question. Did you say that we were doing one of these on Tuesday? Yes, we are. Basically every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. from now until what is that, April the 1st? Okay. Every Tuesday, Thursday from now until then, unless we won't, like during like Easter Thursday or something, we probably won't have one because I don't want to break into your Easter holidays and things like that. But try and pencil us in like you would imagine that we would be going to class at 11 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays from now until, what is that, March or April 30th. Okay. So basically from today until April 30th. Cool, yeah? All right. Awesome. So who's got, if you got any anything here with the Zoom chat and the part, if we're looking at the Zoom chat, so just go ahead and start typing in like maybe some things that you guys are coming up with as reasons why Vikings are invading. All right, let's try that out. See if we can get some going here. Okay. Better land, wealth, certainly. Excellent. Need for more land. So Emily, I'm going to unmute you for a sec. What do you mean by need for more land? Oh, sorry.
There's like Vikings who are overpopulated, so they need more land to expand into.
Excellent. So yeah, certainly overpopulation is one of the bigger ones. Absolutely. Without a doubt, overpopulation is one of the bigger ones. So if we can come back and and look at those. Overpopulation supplies more power. Griffith's going. John says wealth. Excellent. Yeah, so I think we got them pretty much looking at knocking out a lot of the reasons behind Viking invasion. Okay, so if we're looking here back at the PowerPoint, I'm going to share this back up with you. Absolutely, I think there's going to be socioeconomic reasons behind it. One of those socioeconomic reasons include, population growth and lack of arable land. Okay. Two, if you want to take a look at that map on page 188, one of the biggest reasons why the Vikings attack continental Europe is simply geographic. If you're looking at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, those areas, simply the way that the North Sea coastal waters move means all you really got to do is put a boat in the water, and a lot of those coastal currents will take you down into areas on the coast of England and the coast of France. Okay, so these guys really were good navigators, but at the same time, these currents were drifting that way anyhow. Okay, you guys hit up this one. The interesting thing with the Vikings, I think, is this this second one down here. Yeah, but one of the cool things about the Vikings over recent research is they value gold very much. Gold is a secondary import to silver. The Vikings put much more emphasis on silver than they did gold. So one of the interesting things is you'll see when we start hitting areas of France and Germany that just begun to exploit a lot of the silver mines and the dynamics that I can really pick up on. You get to exploit a lot of the early silver cutting, and they use silver much more as they did gold. So much more of a gold. I don't know, culture used different things differently. The Vikings wanted land and they wanted silver. Last but not least, you got number 4. Right? Okay, we're looking at most probably future quiz. Why do you think is most important? Is it popular, or is it just the fact that they're so easily accessible? Right? The first Viking invasion, 793 in Lisbon. But these monasteries were built on rivers, or built on coasts, because frankly, those areas prior to Viking invasion, areas on areas up river were removed from general city. Right? The Vikings aren't necessarily, and they will eventually get cities. And they cities aren't anything like you imagine cities are. From Rome and the cities of the Roman Empire, the fortified cities like Paris and London were fortified, but they weren't urban areas. From that perspective. Okay. This map shows you. I'm going to move this video to talk to you guys. You can see and you can see the progression. And different Viking and Cancer. As you sector, as you look at this map and you can see all these different zones, right? What's happening is which one of these okay? So that means because it shows you different areas of that 4, and it shows you all the different encampments. Okay, well, it's just one. That's the thing I like about this. Essentially a settlement, and if they're they come in more to they're going to be a selective religion. I look at that. A few chapters. A couple questions. Yeah, you guys are talking with each other. Cultural push too. I envision a Bonnie and Clyde type situation. Like that. That's good, Miles. Good. Do the current inhabitants of Norway still have a close connection with Scandinavia? To a degree. If you're looking at Normandy and Norway, not necessarily. You're going to get an assimilation. It's a good question, John. You're going to get an assimilation that happens, and the genetic makeup becomes a blend. Okay, so you're going to have fair-skinned, fair-haired individuals, but they're not going to be nearly as numerous as they are in the Scandinavian area. Does that make sense? Cool. So again, let's figure out and finish this up here. So page 193, make sure you pick up on this. Page 193 talks about how the English do it. Okay, you're going to have 2 areas, like one in England and one in France, where the local governments, as they were, are going to buy off the Vikings. They're going to buy off the raiders with land. In England, it's called the Danelaw. Okay, page 193 shows you that. All right, if you're looking at or it doesn't show you, it talks about it. from the English perspective. Okay, they begin talking about the Danelaw. It's that bold term. All right, and King Alfred essentially buys off a lot of the invaders of that land. Same thing happens in Normandy, seen most concretely in Normandy. Okay, this is where I want you guys to view the Norman video source, which is linked on Canvas. Okay, that's where you're going to view that. All right, and you're going to view 20 minutes of that because it does an awesome job of showing you just how the Vikings were assimilated into Norman culture. Okay, and the biggest thing that they're assimilated to is Christianity. Okay. What we have also occurring in England and in France, because of the Viking invasions, is now forming up and begin to become what we understand in the modern sense as early modern generational monarchies. Okay? I'm just kidding. Something popping up from Zoom. Don't worry about it. Hereditary monarchies begin to you're going to get French kings. You're going to get English kings. They begin to pass hereditarily market rule from one son to another. I guess that coming about like that. Probably one more interesting thing that is they change the nature of warfare and defensive strategy. Prior to this, Charlemagne armies had the same type of training that you would understand from a kind of Roman perspective. Was a more offensive war. Okay? An infantry leading warfare strategy. Okay? People are attacking, advancing in the same way that you think of with Napoleonic tactics. Okay, where you have legions, battalions, and each trying to outflank each other. Okay, so I guess I don't understand what by Napoleonic tactics. It's like Civil War type battles. Okay, we end up on either side and then just try to outflank each other around the battlefield. Okay, the Vikings completely changed that. As far as the legacy to be, because I meet the Vikings on the open battlefield. Okay? What I mean is you have warfare now; it's over. As the medieval warfare comes, and new strategy in terms of is what you get is fortress and castle. Okay, instead of being on a battlefield where you're going to against. Right? Essentially, what Vikings create is people inside, so you would hear or see where you would searching out what everybody would do is we detonate kind of encamp themselves, but eventually will be larger and larger fortresses. Okay? Essentially, the castle structures, and they will eventually over time become cities. Okay? So we spurred a lot of these medieval cities that we found often France, okay? Because the landlord owner would have this huge fortified area that everybody else would sort of run into and come behind when Vikings would attack. Okay? And he could pull up there, he'd stay there, beat the Vikings out. And the Vikings made the battle strategy, the Viking battle strategy was not made for siege. Siege is what just outside the area and choke the population out, all right, by not letting supplies in and not letting anything out. Vikings weren't made for that. They were much of a run and get out of town force. Okay, they weren't made to sit in long areas for long periods of time. Okay, so that's just on Europeans. The English vengeful will win out and Vikings would beat them out by going in first sleep structures. And also spurs would just eventually wasn't English. Okay, so that pretty much finishes out those notes from that perspective. So I'm going to stop sharing here on that PowerPoint. So we're back here to our main screen here. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'll unmute everybody. We got a few minutes left here. What are we thinking? We got good. Any questions? Anything at all? Is this pretty much what we were getting after for today? This is kind of what we're gonna try and do for a half hour, a couple times a week. All right. Obviously, Tuesday is going to be much more of a group talkative session when we go over the sources and we go over what you guys wrote with your forum posts. Okay. And I'll have more narration on the PowerPoint because we're not going to just sit and go over each slide like that. But I just wanted to kind of do it today to reset where we were. Okay, kind of get us back into some sense of normality. All right. What do you guys think? I think we got a couple minutes here. Anything at all? No. Nothing.
Well, you mentioned castles specifically, and I remember learning about the medieval castle and how you would never want to actually attack one of these things because of how fortified they were and like archers and whatnot. So what you would actually do is like what you said is you'd want to just wait outside the castle because they couldn't leave and just starve them out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what they eventually did to the Vikings, like you mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, they just will use that as a vehicle for assimilation. All right, that's a good one. I don't know. I think, other than that, that sort of brings chapter 7 to a close. Okay. On those situations. Weather looks nice out today. I'm looking outside. Are we allowed to go outside? Is that allowed? We're allowed to go outside. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to violate any rules. All right, but
In groups of less than 5.
groups of less than 5. Now it's 5. It was 10. Now it's 5.
Yeah, it's 5 now.
Oh, geez, oh, Pete. So good. All right. So you guys got everything on Canvas to work with over the weekend. All right. You're going to have the forum post, the feudalism video, chapter 9, 7 pages. I know, I'm sorry. It's a whole 7 pages to make you read. And the 3 sources from Fordham. Okay. And you're just going to kind of digest those sources over the weekend, get out a pretty good post, and then a reply by 11 a.m. next Tuesday, which will be the next time we get together. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this. I'm going to post this video kind of right underneath our notes on Canvas. So if you wanted to go back and look at what we were going over with the PowerPoints, hear what I was saying, get those notes out again, you're more than welcome to view the video up that way. Okay. So like I said, this is our new learning environment. It just kind of is what it is. And I'm going to try my hardest to make it as beneficial and fun as possible. All right. Probably throw in a few funny jokes from time to time. All right. Like, for instance, what do I got? Got any funny jokes? Oh, here's a good one. Hold on. I wrote it down on my phone. Give me 1 second. We'll end the day with a funny joke, like always.
Dad, I can't bring chicken nuggets anymore.
I know. Not my pleasure. Here we go. Here's a good joke. Medieval joke. And here it comes, medieval dad joke. Do you guys know which of King Arthur's knights was the tax collector?
No.
No.
Surcharge. Oh, yeah.
That's a really bad dad joke.
That's a really bad dad joke. Yeah. What about this one? Have you heard about the superhero who works out all the time, except that he has a lisp?
No.
No? He's Thor.
That one's actually pretty good.
No? No? Okay. Not a good one? All right.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Thanks very much. Plus 500 points for you.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff, guys. Okay, so we'll bring it to a close, and I'll post this, and I'll see you guys back in here Tuesday at 11. Cool?
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
All the best, everybody. Stay safe.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.